Alright, how's it going, ladies and gentlemen? This is King of Diamonds, and this is a bit of a tutorial for you guys to figure out how to play this game, which is currently in early access, so this will change over time, but I thought it would be good to give you some tips on how to play this game. And I'm still new to this though, so take some of my words with a grain of salt. Explore like I have been. I really recommend it. Like, I'm still discovering things in this game you can do. Also, this game does have some pretty game-breaking bugs, so you have to take note of that as well. So this is my little town that I built here, and I've discovered a few things that I thought that you should know. And I think we should probably start from the beginning here. You shouldn't worry too much about this just yet. What I'm going to do is tell you from the start. When you first get into spawn, the first thing you're going to want to do is check your underground waterways. This will help you with planning on where you're going to put stuff. The waterways are also important that where your well placement goes, I believe it helps with the access to firefighting. So get water wells anywhere you can that's close enough to the houses, especially to the houses. So I did have to cut some of that off, some of the buildings off, so we can put the water wells there. Also check fertility. Fertility will affect where you want to put your farms, and also affect where you want to plan where you want your buildings to be. Of course, you're not always going to get that, and you're not always going to be building farms immediately. In fact, I don't recommend building farms immediately. That's a terrible idea. Your people will starve, and you won't have enough manpower. Now, at the start of the game, once you get your tents, like I got them over here at the start, but once you get your tents, you're going to want to immediately get a granary and a storehouse. The granary costs 10 stone, so be careful about when you use that. And the storehouse, of course, is going to cost 2 logs. You can upgrade them. Upgrading this again will cost 5 stone and I think wood. And upgrading this will require planks and wood. The reason why you want to get this immediately is because when you start the game, you have items just sitting out in the middle of the, you know, the open, and they can easily get destroyed. Sometimes you'll end up with very bad luck and it will rain, and that's very bad because your products will just rot. They will be gone. So get that done immediately. Once you get that done and you have people in there and they've stored everything, you immediately want to empty out the workers and get your logging camp done. Now, I recommend while people are putting stuff in there to get that logging camp done immediately. You don't need to get the woodcutters log immediately, but you do need the logging camp. Like, get the logging camp so you can get wood. Once you get the wood, you're going to want to build houses. Now, houses have multiple commodities. They need water wells, enables firing and drinking, and you need marketplace. It doesn't matter how big you want, but if you want it to be a nice quaint size, mine is pretty large, but if you want it to be a nice quaint size, you can have markets all across the map. Just get an itty bitty road, like maybe around here. Right here, you can only get 5 right here, but that's kind of how you can get it. But you can make sure you get the marketplace. It doesn't cost anything. It won't cost you anything, and people will immediately start opening it as soon as you get food. So, you want the burgers plot, and the next thing you'll want to do, hopefully get this done immediately, is to get the forager hut. Now, while you're there building the houses, I recommend, let's see, getting the forager hut placed immediately and put it on highest priority. That way they start focusing on that too. Alright, I didn't mention this at first, but you're going to want to also have an extra hitching post, you start with one. The reason why you want to add an extra hitching post is because logistics is very important in this game. The hitching post allows you to add more cattle, or oxen I should say. An oxen costs about 20 coins. You start with 50 coins in the game, unless you decide to make it harder or easier for yourself. Either less coins, 50 coins, or 100 coins. In any case, you want to get a hitching post as soon as possible, like right before you get the houses done that I was mentioning. So you want to get that, get the oxen, and it'll help you move logs and stuff much quicker. And finish buildings much quicker, especially the forager hut. Don't forget to get that forager hut. You want to get the forager hut built before the buildings, although I normally get the housing done first. Or not first, I just get that stuff set up, and then I put the forager hut and put it at highest priority. This way they will focus on that, but they'll also be focused on this if you have enough manpower wandering around. Alright. So once that's done, you should have your bare bones basics. This is the development key. You are very limited in the amount of things you can develop. But one thing I have to note here is charcoal is king. It will very much help you save firewood. Like a lot. You will be able... It lasts a lot longer, like twice as long. And you can make twice as much in charcoal, so it's a very, very OP thing at the start, especially when you want to keep people warm. There's also trading. Trade logistics is also very important. You can establish new trade routes, which cost a minimum of 25 regional wealth. The game has a very overpriced... It's very overpriced in terms of trade routes, but there's also better deals. If you get this like early on, I don't know if you want that immediately, but if you get this early on, you can very easily drop the price by 10. Here's the price of the trading posts right now. It costs 11 to import stone. It costs 12 to import barley. That's ridiculous. That's very, very ridiculous, but that's because of tariffs. If you get this, you'll very much be able to lower the price. Now, I mentioned that, but you have to look at this as well. If you're going to start with no fields and the like you have very bad quality emmer fertility and the like, I'm gonna recommend going left. So this will offer trapping, which enables to get a little extra meat from our hunters. Allows them to skillfully lay traps in the forest, which offers passive income. There's also advanced skinning, doubles the amount of meat harvested by hunters. Now you can go that route and ignore this route. You don't need to focus on this. It is pretty good for one of your regions. You don't have to worry too much about the northern part, because it changes from region to region. So if you go to this region, you can see you got nothing unlocked, which is a good thing because we have iron and clay. So we can basically focus our industry southwards with deep mining. Deep mining allows our resources to, it allows us to extract resources indefinitely, and I think they recover. And there's also basic armoring. You can basically turn it into a military industrial area, which I think is pretty important. Now, so don't forget, forest management is also a good thing. Doubles capacity of all berries, and this one gives beekeeping. You can get this at the start. This will help your people get more food, and you won't have to worry too much about farming. And in honesty, if you have like any spare at the start, get orchards. That will increase the amount of food varieties you have. Now we also have certain parts about housing. This is something that you might have seen already, but there is this carrot thing. This is gonna ruin my plot, but I gotta show you this. As you can see here, we have carrot plots here. I usually double them because I thought this might actually be true. I'm not sure. They might actually change it, but the size of the plots determines how many carrots you can get. As it says here, the yields depend on the plot size, but I always double these houses. You can make it so that they can hold 2 families as opposed to 1. But if you can get this done, you can get a much bigger field size done. I'm just waiting for them to finish. They're taking a while. We have like 6 workers and they're taking this long. It's weird. It takes a while. I still haven't... I don't think I've finished or figured out the logistics properly, but... I think one of the issues is we don't have workers in this stable space. Having a dedicated worker is like peak, you know, you've run out of places to put people. But yeah, you put carrots here. This is how big the plot of your carrot building is. You add more, you'll have more people, you'll see more people working on it too. So this, I don't know if that's a thing, but if you have more families on it, you might get them to produce or plant carrots, or not carrots, but vegetables faster. But that might just be... Oh, influence, okay. That might just be something different entirely. In any case, I think we got some of the basics done. Also, when it comes to housing, I gotta tell you this, do not... There's no empty plots. Alright, just don't go straight for hides. I'm looking for it right here. Because I have hides here. Do not go straight for goat sheds. You don't need to at the start. Because you have a wild animal right here. Every plot will have one. So the wild animals will give you a little bit of hides at the start. And once you get that, you can get a tannery. You're going to want that as soon as possible. Tanneries will provide clothing in the market stalls, which will provide clothing for our burgage plots. That will increase our requirements, which will help allow you to upgrade your plots. Also, in order to upgrade your level 1 burgage plots, you need church levels. So be sure to get that church done early. A church costs 20 planks. So when you're at the point where you have everything, including your woodcutter's lodge, don't forget to get that. Woodcutters are important. Once you have just about the bare bones necessities, get the woodcutter's lodge built, and you'll have to micro things quite a bit, like reduce workers in certain spots temporarily to get that saw pit done. And once you get that 20, you can like remove him or wait till you get more stuff to upgrade certain other things like your storage. And then you can immediately start building the small stone church. Be sure to get enough person in there so that people get their bare bones necessities, and you'll be able to upgrade your burgage plots. However, I do not recommend upgrading your burgage plots immediately, because that affects happiness. If they had their bare bones necessities at burgage plots level 1, that raises happiness, and that also raises immigration rate. Right now, my population is at 600. One of the reasons why it's so high at the moment, I don't know what year it is. It's year 10. So I got this about 600 pop, mostly because I was not upgrading my plots. I did not upgrade my plots at the start. Instead, I was focusing on trading. I would have these plots, immigrate, and they would all start producing wood and saw pits, and I would use the trading posts to sell planks, which made me a semi-decent amount of money. So trading is very important in this game. You really should get that done. Also, let's see. I didn't do this at the start, but you might want to get a manor as soon as you get small village done. You don't have to make it this big. You just need to build a manor with maybe a tax hut. You don't need a tax immediately though, unfortunately, but getting the manor and this little tower here is a must. Just get those two done and you'll improve your influence, as well as have a starting of 5 retinue soldiers. It won't be much, but you know, it'll prevent, it helps in your defense of your kingdom. Also, I have to mention, you will start off with some, as soon as you get 5 plots, you get a few spearman equipment, which is basically 36 spears and 36 shields. You start, I think they give you 10 or 20, depending on your difficulty. You're going to have to go to the trading port and import that. You see how expensive this is? That's why I was showing you this, the better deals. You might want to go that route. Now, you don't have to go this route immediately, but you definitely need to go this route as soon as you get better deals. Is very important that you get as soon as possible, because you know those tariffs are killing you. So that's basically the easiest part. But once you get just about a decent enough or satisfactory population, you're gonna want to start upgrading your burgage plots. Now, you don't have to upgrade them all, but you need to upgrade them enough so that you can get your development up. You need to have some burgage plots level 3s later on, but that's going to require a little bit of alcohol, like a tavern. And unfortunately, you're going to have to import that stuff. That's why I told you, get this, because the barley is expensive. That's 12 coins. That will drain your money. Right now, I'm making a lot of money thanks to the population and trade exports, but it will kill you, okay? But yeah, get those burgage plot levels up, and you can basically add different parts. You can get a joiner's workshop, which will allow you to build shields and wooden parts. The wooden parts will be important in the future. Don't forget shields. You're going to have a tannery, so don't forget shoes. You just need one of these. You're gonna overproduce somehow. It's very broken. There's no reason for the shoes to be producing this many for one cobbler's hut. That's way too many. I have 812 shoes and I can't export them fast enough. Like, they produce shoes faster than we produce leather. I had to... and hide. I had to, like, really... build more tanneries, as you can see. I have 2 tanneries, but still, that's a lot. And once you get a decent population, you're also gonna want to start getting some goats. Get at least 2 per 5 chicken coops that you have in order to get enough eggs. Right now we have 525 eggs. Getting eggs can be a bit difficult at the start, which is why it might be a good idea to go for carrots. Go for carrots before you do anything else. But yeah, I guess once you get that done, there won't be much else. You can basically plan out how you want things. Like, if you want good stone deposits and like just about anything, I guess that's about it. Other than this, don't forget Forester Hut. I forgot to mention, you're going to need like 3 Forester Huts per logging camp, because, you know, logging camps can cut really, really fast. Don't forget your woodcutter's lodge. Like, you're going to want a couple of those. If you have charcoal kilns, you won't need as many woodcutter's lodge, but if you end up with no charcoal kilns, you're going to want a lot of woodcutter's logs, because they're going to chew through that stuff. So you get a couple logging camps, Forester Huts. Keep them nearby. The less trees that are nearby the logging camps, the less they're gonna be able to make over time. So keep those well placed so you have as many trees as humanly possible. Like this one has like 3 4-star huts around it. I think that's pretty good. Also, you're gonna want a livestock trading post. Don't forget that. The livestock trading post allows you to trade for oxen over time. So if you just spammed out your logistics like these hitching posts, still definitely build these as many as you can. Once you spam those out, just import this and you'll start to get oxen and horses over time. And maybe import sheep, because sheep are also important if you're going to either produce yarn or anything else for that matter. So you can produce yarn with a weaver's hut. This weaver's is producing an awful lot of yarn, an insane amount of yarn. There's not a lot you can do with the yarn, unfortunately, but you know, that's a good thing. It also important for if you want to do fertilization. Of course, I don't recommend it in this run because you're gonna want to go for scavenging and maybe beekeeping if you're able to get it, as opposed to anything else, because this is basically your starting point. You're not gonna make a lot with these fields. Now, of course, if you start with a very fertile land, you might want to get those fields or just start a new game, because it's going to be a bit difficult, because making barley and wheat is very hard no matter how big you get it. Barley is like devastatingly difficult to produce, and make sure you have enough workers to get those done. That's gonna be very hard. I especially have a lot of trouble producing bread no matter how big I get these things. It's brutal, because according to this, our yield is probably about 79. It's a bit less than that, actually. No, that is the yield, unfortunately. That we don't get enough wheat, and you probably won't be able to farm enough of those because they can't sweep enough of them in time. So make sure you have enough farmhouses to be able to work on those farms, because you don't want to waste any. So warfare is very important. At the start, there will be bandits if you have it on non-peaceful mode. So bandit camps, if you end up having an army of like at least 20 spear militia, I recommend taking on some of these camps and raiding them, because you will end up with some cash, basically regional wealth, or you can like fill your coffers with it. If you take their tents, you're basically gonna end up with some cash. I also, you might want to get them as soon as possible, because a very unbalanced AI, this is how fast they gobble up things. I hate this AI. They will gobble up your land, and I recommend building up your army fast, because if you don't start making claims, they'll make claims on you, and sometimes that claim will not show up, and you will lose the game without any warning. Sometimes it will show up, sometimes it won't, but at one point it didn't show up for me, and that was dumb. But make sure you get the army done as quickly as possible. Trade for weapons. Get some gambeson and mail armor if you can afford it. Also export war bows. It's easy to get war bows because of all the sawmills you can make. Just be careful of the amount of planks you use, because sometimes you can use those planks. And if you end up in the deficit of planks, all you have to do is hit pause on your production, and this way you won't run out of planks. Any building that has planks, just hit pause, or is eating up your resources, that is, just hit pause. This is Fletcher's workshop. Just hit pause on that one, and you'll be able to produce planks again. So that's probably about it. There's really nothing else I can tell you. I don't recommend going for the farms immediately. Like, really don't. And if you're gonna go for farms, you're really gonna want all this. Maybe bakeries. definitely going to want those orchards because that helps you with food. However, if you're not making orchards and you make this, you can only have a maximum of 2 apiaries, which is kind of doesn't help considering the food limitations, but what can you do? But there's not much else about that. Just make sure you have water wells because your houses can catch fire. Here, see this? Get your water wells, keep them close by, avoid dying. There's a fire hazard thing here, so I guess they're going to make it so fires are more likely to spread, which doesn't really happen. Not yet anyways, but you're going to want to get that as soon as possible. In any case, that's just about it. That's all I can recommend to you guys at the moment. This will change, of course, so if you see this as early access 7.955, this will change over time. You will have different metas to be able to play this game, but just make sure you have your army, because your lord will this hillboat guy, he will make claims on your land over time, especially if you put him on aggressive. And yeah, that's about it. And have a good one, guys. Please like and subscribe. That would be very helpful. And if you're in a room, we'll leave a follow. Just all that stuff. Have a good time. My throat is really sore, and yeah, I really enjoy this game. I recommend you buy it. Thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen, and good day.